everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making vegan spaghetti puttanesca. Now puttanesca is a traditional Italian pasta dish, and Puttenesca means in the style of the whore. I know that sounds really dirty, but one of the stories surrounding the origins of this dish is that prostitutes used to make it because of how aromatic it is, and that would lure customers to their doors. Now, this dish is traditionally composed of anchovies, olives, olive oil, capers, and tomatoes. Now, in my version, I'm gonna skip the anchovies. I like to call this pasta bad girl pasta, just because of how sexy and fiery, spicy, tangy, and savory it is. So, if you want to spice up your life, keep on watching. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to introduce to you the tomatoes of this dish. Now the tomatoes are a key ingredient, and I like to use a combination of whole peeled tomatoes and diced tomatoes. The reason being I like texture in this dish. And by combining these two, you're gonna get a lot of texture. Alright, so I have a pan here, and I am gonna start by putting in the 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes in here. Next, I am gonna mash up these tomatoes with a potato masher. Okay, we're gonna crush these tomatoes. Alright, moving on. Now that I've crushed the whole peeled tomatoes, I'm going to pour in the diced tomatoes. Now, I'm going to talk about anchovies. Okay, so traditionally anchovies are used in this dish, but because this is vegan, we're not going to do that. We're going to substitute that with a couple of things, and this is my little secret. Okay, we want to recreate that sort of fishy, sea salt sort of taste in this dish, and instead of using anchovies, I'm going to be using, ta-da, number one, this is Kombu. Okay, you can get this at like any supermarket. I got this from Whole Foods in a pack. And this is a sea vegetable that's used in Japanese cuisine, and they use this a lot in making like Japanese dashi soups to give it that umami, savory sort of flavor. So this is my trick. I'm gonna use a kombu stick, and then next I'm gonna be using 2 nori sheets. Okay, and this again will help to recreate that sea salt, anchovy, fishy aroma. All right, so what I do is that I take out 2 sheets of this stuff, and then you know, just kind of crumble them into the sauce. All right, and it will cook down, so they'll kind of dissipate into the sauce. Don't worry about them not being the same size or whatnot. You just tear them up, okay? Just go along with the flow. Okay, so one thing I like to add is that I'm not gonna be using olive oil in this dish, okay? So for all of you purists out there, don't start screaming. I'm doing my version, which is a low-fat version, okay? So I'm not gonna be using olive oil, but I'm gonna be using kalamata olives, and I'm going to be using more of them because I prefer the olive flavor coming from whole olives as opposed to processed olive oil. So next I'm going to add in 3 cloves of fresh garlic. Okay, and then we're going to start off by bringing up the heat to about medium. And then I'm going to give this a stir. Okay, so next I'm gonna be adding 3 tablespoons of sliced kalamata olives. And this really gives it that savory, tangy flavor. I'm using 3 tablespoons because that's a really good substantial amount, and that will make up for me not putting in olive oil. So I have here 1.5 tablespoons of capers, and I'm gonna toss that in here. I'm gonna put a little bit of caper juice as well, because this will give it a very vinegary taste that I love in this dish. Okay, give it a stir. I then add in 3 tablespoons of agave nectar to balance out the tartness of this dish, followed by 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now finally, I'm going to be adding in some crushed red pepper, and I'm just going to do a dash of it. You know, you just put however much you want. So as you can see, I only used a handful of ingredients for this dish. So it's really easy and convenient to make, and you can keep these ingredients in your pantry. So definitely a go-to dish when you're lazy or you don't feel like cooking a really extravagant meal. Definitely keep this under your belt of recipes. So you can pull it out anytime, any day, and you'll be ready to eat in no time. So I'm gonna cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes and it should be done. So while the pasta sauce is going, I'm gonna make my spaghetti. I'm using brown rice gluten-free spaghetti, and this is my favorite brand, the Tinkyada brand. And I'm gonna throw this into some salted water. Make sure you salt your water because it gives it like that taste, okay? Now I'm gonna turn on the heat and I'll let it go. All right, so this is looking pretty amazing, and you know what? It smells even more amazing. It's all that nori seaweed mixed with the kombu. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna turn off the heat and let this sit for a while my pasta is still cooking. And then after that, we should be ready to serve. Okay, so now for the big moment, it's time to serve. I am so hungry. I have my spaghetti that's been cooked, and I'm gonna top it off with my Puttenesca sauce. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Ooh, oh my gosh. Look at all these tomatoes and olives and capers. Jeez. Amazing. Next, I'm gonna garnish with some Italian parsley. It's so beautiful. Look at that pop of green amongst that sea of red. Oh. Okay, so now it's time for the big taste test, the moment I've been waiting for. So I'm gonna do a big bite of spaghetti with some tomato. Oh my goodness. The sauce is hands down fantastic. Okay. I have the texture of all those tomatoes, and then Oh my gosh, the olives. There's that deep umami flavor from the olives and the capers and the nori and the kombu. And then with the tangy tomatoes and a bit of the spice from the chili flakes. This is such a complex and beautiful dish. I mean, so simple, so easy to make. I mean, I practically threw this together in less than 10 minutes. So, I mean, I am in love with this dish. I'm gonna take one more bite before I bid my goodbye. And here we go.